Yes, children. Your water has the ability to form hydrates. Okay. Your water has the ability to form hydrates with metal salts. Okay. It has the ability to form hydrates with metal salts. So I should write the reaction like this. Water plus metal salts results in the formation of hydrates. And these hydrates are of three types. What are they? The first hydrate is called as coordinated complex compounds. What is the first one? Coordinated complex compounds. The second hydrate is hydrogen bonded hydrates. What is the second hydrate? Hydrogen bonded hydrates. So how hydrates are formed, children? Hydrates is formed when my water is reacting with the metal salts. My third is interstitial, like hydrates only, right? Interstitial hydrates. I've spelled correct. Interstitial, yeah, hydrates. So let us see one by one. What is the first classification? Coordinated complex compounds. See, the name itself is indicating me, since my water is complexing with the metal salts, it is forming hydrate. The type of hydrate formed is coordinated complex compounds. So in coordinated complex compounds, water will be coordinated to a metal ion. As a result, I will be getting a complex compound. Is that clear? See how you got coordinated complex compound. My water is forming a coordinated complex with the metal salts. As a result, I have got a complex compounds. Let me tell you some examples. See, this is a coordinated complex. I have the metal nickel where my water is coordinated here. 6 molecules of water has coordinated to nickel. So a complex compound along with the ligand nitrite, you have got a complex compound. This is an example for coordinated complex compound. Okay, let me tell you one more example. I have iron where my water molecule is coordinated. Here it is also 6. Then chloride minus will be acting like a ligand. So this is also a coordinated complex. So a coordinate bond is formed between your water's O and metal ion. Okay, children. So what is coordinated complex compounds? Water is coordinated to a metal ion resulting in the formation of complex compounds. I have cited 2 examples. So here what happens? A coordinated bond is formed between oxygen atom of water and the metal ion. Say for example this O and nickel, O and iron. So there is a formation of coordinated bond. So first one is clear. Moving to the second hydrate, that is hydrogen bonded hydrates. Now, compounds where water molecule is hydrogen bonded to oxygen containing anion. Now let me repeat this. What is hydrogen bonded hydrates? Okay. What is hydrogen bonded hydrates? Here compounds where water molecule is hydrogen bonded to oxygen of a anion. I'll tell you example. Copper sulfate. In copper sulfate, see copper sulfate along with water molecule. Okay, this is hydrated. I will be calling this compound as hydrated copper sulfate. When I remove this water, this is dehydrated copper sulfate. So what is hydrated copper sulfate? Here, my water molecule will form hydrogen bond with oxygen of this anion. Okay, children. One more example, let me tell you. With the same copper only, here water molecule is forming a complex. This example you can even cite for coordinated complex compound. I have sulfate. This in turn is bonded to water. So water, hydrogen bonded to oxygen of anion. So these two are the example for hydrogen bonded hydrates. Moving to the third classification, interstitial hydrates. What is the third classification? Interstitial hydrates. Now, name itself is indicating exactly same as that of hydrates. My water molecule will be occupying the interstitial sites. Okay. So, water is present in some of the compounds as interstitial water. Means my water is going to occupy the interstitial sites of crystal lattice. This is exactly same as that of our hydrates. You want to just go through what are interstitial hydrates. Let me show you for interstitial hydrates also the same point we discussed, that is water occupying the interstitial sites of the crystal lattice of the salt, of the metal. Say for example, barium chloride into 2 water means hydrated barium chloride, where this water molecule is going to occupy the interstitial sites of the crystal lattice of the sugar barium chloride. Done. So very easily we have completed hydrates. So what are hydrates, children? When my metal salts bind with water molecule, they result in the formation of hydrates. We are seeing all these under the category water. So, the formed hydrates are of 3 types: coordinated complex compounds, hydrogen bonded hydrates, interstitial hydrates. What are coordinated complex compounds? Here, the water and my metal will be forming a complex compound. Example I have given. So, between my water and metal, water's oxygen will form a coordinate bond with the metal. Done. What are hydrogen bonded hydrates? Here, my water molecule will form a hydrogen bond with the oxygen of the anion. Example, hydrated copper sulfate. Third example is interstitial hydrates, where my water molecule will be occupying the interstitial sites of crystal lattice of the salt. Say for example, barium chloride, hydrated barium chloride, where my water molecule is binding with the interstitial sites of barium chloride. Done. Moving to the next topic, hard water and soft water. Hard water and soft water. Almost many people would have encountered with hard water at least once in our lifetime. So what is hard water? The water which contain dissolved salts, which has got salts dissolved in it. Water which has dissolved salts of calcium, magnesium, iron is called as hard water. How will you know that whether you are using hard water or soft water? My hard water will not form enough lather with the soap. Okay, it does not form enough lather with soap. This is your hard water. Now, what is soft water, children? Soft water is just the opposite of hard water. It will not contain any dissolved salts of calcium, magnesium or iron. It forms enough lather with soap. It is not having, even this is no calcium, no magnesium, no iron, and it forms lather with soap. It is free from bicarbonates. There is no bicarbonates. There is no chlorides of calcium and magnesium too. Now this water is said to be soft water. Okay. So what is hard water? Important question. So hard water contain dissolved salts of calcium, magnesium and iron, which will not form lather with soap, while soft water is free of dissolved salts of calcium, magnesium and iron, and it forms enough lather with soap. It is free from bicarbonates, chlorides of calcium and magnesium. Now see, why did I include this point in soft water? My soft water is neither having calcium, magnesium, iron, nor it is having chlorides of calcium, magnesium and bicarbonates, because whenever there is a presence of bicarbonates and chlorides of calcium, magnesium, say for example, if I have bicarbonate of calcium, what is that called? Calcium bicarbonate. If I have magnesium bicarbonate, the formula will be magnesium bicarbonate. So if I have calcium and magnesium bicarbonate, the hardness will be caused by this hardness I am going to refer as temporary hardness, because I can remove this type of hardness. Correct? Let me repeat this. I am going to tell a water as hard when it is having calcium magnesium ion. I am going to tell a water as soft when it does not contain calcium magnesium ion, and if it does not contain bicarbonates and chlorides of calcium and magnesium. If my water has bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium, I am going to call that as a temporary hard water, because I can remove this type of hardness. So how to remove temporary hardness? There are two ways by which I can remove temporary hardness. Before that, let me tell you, if there is a presence of calcium, magnesium and iron in the water, the hardness is called as permanent hardness, which cannot be removed. That needs a more efficient process to remove. Okay, it cannot be removed temporarily. This is permanent hardness and this is temporary hardness. Okay. So if calcium, magnesium, ion is present, it is permanent hardness. If calcium bicarbonate and magnesium bicarbonate is present, it is called as temporary hardness. Now we are going to see how to remove temporary hardness. I told you there are two procedures to remove temporary hardness of hard water. Your first procedure is what we do, a very common procedure, that is boiling the water. When you boil the water, the hardness is removed. If it is temporary hardness, see, boiling can remove temporary hardness. So what happens in boiling? Your bicarbonates, I told you, no, calcium bicarbonate and magnesium bicarbonate. So my bicarbonates will be converted to carbonates. These carbonates are, bicarbonate is soluble, while boiling the soluble bicarbonates will be converted to insoluble carbonates, which can be precipitated and removed. So let me tell this very detailedly. Now I am telling my water is a temporary hard water. So what it should contain? It should contain calcium bicarbonate. When I am going to boil, the soluble calcium bicarbonate is converted to calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate will be forming a precipitate which can be removed. Now water, carbon dioxide is removed. Same is in the case of magnesium bicarbonate, MgHCO3 twice. When I boil, what happens? In both the procedure I am boiling. So what happens? I will be getting magnesium carbonate plus, not carbonate here. Here I will be getting magnesium hydroxide. Sorry children. Here I should get magnesium hydroxide plus 2 carbon dioxide. Yes, no? Yeah. So calcium bicarbonate and magnesium bicarbonate will be converted to carbonates. Here it is converted to carbonates, and here you got hydroxides along with carbon dioxide. So this is a way to remove temporary hardness. The second method is called as Clark process. What is the second method called as? Clark's process. Now in Clark's process, what happens? When you add calculated amount of lime to your temporary hard water, lime is nothing but calcium hydroxide, CaOH2. Okay. So when I add lime to temporary hard water, it causes precipitation of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide, and that can be filtered off. So this is the second step involved in removing temporary hardness. In my first step, I have converted calcium bicarbonate to calcium carbonate, magnesium bicarbonate to magnesium hydroxide. In the second step, I am going to add magnesium hydroxide to this, right? See, calcium bicarbonate plus lime, which is nothing but calcium hydroxide. So what will I get? Here also it is a reversible reaction only. Okay. So when I add calcium hydroxide to calcium bicarbonate, I will be getting calcium carbonate. This calcium carbonate is precipitated and it can be filtered. Okay. Already in this step also it is precipitated, can be removed. Here also you got calcium carbonate, which is an insoluble precipitate, easily can be filtered. In the second step I got magnesium hydroxide, but I can take this too. Magnesium bicarbonate when reacts with calcium hydroxide, which is nothing but lime, here I will be getting my calcium carbonate plus magnesium hydroxide plus water molecule. So in these two steps I have got carbonates which are insoluble, they are precipitated and can be filtered off. Okay. Let me tell from hard water, children. So what is hard water? When my water is containing dissolved salts of calcium, magnesium and iron, the type of hardness which is inferred to water is called as permanent hardness of water, which will not lather with soap. Done. Now what is soft water? When my water is containing bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium, that is calcium bicarbonate and magnesium bicarbonate, the hardness inferred to it is called as temporary hardness, which can be removed by simple procedures, that is boiling and Clark process. So temporary hardness bicarbonate, permanent hardness calcium magnesium iron salts. So how to remove temporary hardness? First procedure is by boiling. When you boil, what happens? The soluble bicarbonate is converted to insoluble carbonates, which are precipitated and can be removed off. In calcium bicarbonate is converted to calcium carbonate. Magnesium bicarbonate is converted to magnesium hydroxide. In Clark's process, you are going to add lime. Lime is nothing but hydrated calcium or calcium hydroxide. So when I add calcium hydroxide to calcium bicarbonate and magnesium bicarbonate, I will be getting corresponding carbonates which can be precipitated and filtered off. So next step, we need to remove permanent hardness. Permanent hardness can be removed by means of 4 procedures that we can see in the next class. Thank you, children.